Hello everyone and welcome. Thank you for joining the channel, where in this video we're going to take a quick look at the nerf to Falling Guillotine when Beyond Light releases and simulate the reduction in damage that Bungie have quoted. Then compare it to Falling Guillotine that we have now in Season 11 and see what kind of difference it will make. Witherhoard paired with the sword has also been thrown in there as well. Of course, I could just wait for Beyond Light to drop, but once that happens, we'll no longer have Titan and therefore Greg, meaning I can't test it and then compare the difference accurately to pre-nerf Falling Guillotine. The test is also based on a masterworked god roll, that being Jagged Edge, Swordmaster's Guard and Whirlwind Blade. So, for anyone who isn't aware or has forgotten the numbers, in Bungie's TWAB from the 22nd of October, they confirmed that Falling Guillotine will be receiving a 24% nerf to its heavy attack damage only, bringing it in line with other swords, but apparently it will still be slightly above average. So, let's take a look at the heavy attack and the numbers we currently have. When you use Falling Guillotine's heavy attack, it does 6 lots of individual damage and they're all the same value. Interesting fact though, if you use it with the Whirlwind Blade perk, but don't have it procced at ×5, the last strike of the heavy actually does a little more damage, as the perk procs halfway through the animation. That is irrelevant for this test though, as I'm only looking at numbers when Whirlwind Blade is procced at ×5. But still, I thought I'd let you know. Anyway, total heavy attack damage when Whirlwind Blade is at ×5, which is a 30% buff from base damage, is 90,696. Now, it doesn't matter how you apply the 24% reduction, whether it be to that figure I just said, or the total base damage and then add 30% for Whirlwind Blade, or to the base number of each of the 6 attack values individually and then add them together and apply 30% for Whirlwind Blade, etc. It all comes out the same, if that makes sense, which is around 68,931, give or take a couple of numbers for rounding up or down. That's a reduction of 21,765 when Whirlwind Blade is fully procced. So when testing, I've kept all the times the same as in my Witherhoard plus heavy weapons video to make sure the DPS numbers are directly comparable. For Falling Guillotine on its own, that's 29.18 seconds, and when paired with Witherhoard, it's 31.68 seconds. Anyway, over that period of time, the nerfed Falling Guillotine is predicted to do something in the region of 1,161,173 damage, meaning DPS would be 39,793. So it's fallen below that golden 40,000 DPS threshold. Just for reference, the current Falling Guillotine we have does 44,269, so it's a considerable drop. And when paired with Witherhoard, it does 1,322,172 damage, so the nerf DPS for that is 41,735, compared to what we have now in Season 11, which is 45,857. So, what we're starting with here is the current Falling Guillotine that we have in Season 11, and on its own, and coming onto the screen is the nerfed version that will be with us in Beyond Light. As you can see, it's going to be losing its edge, quite a lot. Now is also Falling Guillotine with Witherhoard from Season 11, closely followed by what it is predicted to be in Beyond Light. I understand there's little context here as it's the sword on its own, but my next video will address that. Now at 39,793 DPS for the sword alone and 41,735 DPS with Witherhoard, it's still a very good option, both of them are. And they're still ever so slightly ahead of the Steel Sibyl that I've tested previously at 38,133 DPS, so just like Bungie said, more in line with other swords, but still slightly above average. Although now, the original Falling Guillotine will do more than Falling Guillotine with Witherhoard in Beyond Light. Something you may have noticed as well, and that's nerfed Falling Guillotine with Witherhoard has better returns on damage against using the sword alone, compared to what we have in Season 11. That's because the sword does less damage on its own, so you're not penalised as bad when putting it away to fire from Witherhoard, and therefore benefit from the combination more. I think this was a change we could all see coming, and the problem with having one weapon in its archetype doing a lot more than everything else is that it can render the rest useless. Why use something like Steel Sibyl, for example, when I can just equip Falling Guillotine, which has been very easy to farm for a god roll, and do more damage. So far, this is the only significant sandbox change that I want to take a look at, but I'd be surprised if Bungie didn't have more coming. The next video, which I actually put on hold to get this one made, will be a kind of Season 11 greatest hits. I'm going to look at all the best weapons and combos tested this season and compare them on the graph. So not necessarily any new numbers, but new comparisons. Falling Guillotine will be making an appearance too, but with its predicted nerf numbers, and that's because I want everything in that video to be viable in Beyond Light, which means no weapons featured will be getting sunset. So don't forget to subscribe if that's something you'd like to see. And that is actually all from me. A very short video that I hope you enjoyed. Any feedback, please let me know in the comments, and as always, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.